So I grew up in a pretty middle-of-the-road family, but my parents decided early on that I had to go to private school. They were convinced it was the golden ticket to success, and honestly, I bought into it for a long time. I mean, I was the kid in the neighborhood bragging about the prestige. But man, junior year? That's when everything shattered. It all started when this new transfer kid showed up. Let's call him Nate. Nate was not your typical private school kid. No silver spoon, no family connections, no Ivy League legacy. Just a kid from a rough neighborhood with a serious chip on his shoulder and, as it turned out, a borderline psychotic survival instinct. One afternoon, I found out the hard way why private schools sometimes think they're immune to the real world. Nate was getting bullied by this group of rich kids, led by this guy Blake, charismatic, spoiled, but with a seriously dark side. You know the type, I'm better than you because my daddy owns a jet. They pushed Nate to the edge, shoving him in hallways, whispering threats. But Nate, he wasn't the kind of... One day after school, I saw Nate cornered by Blake and his gang. Before I could even process what was happening, it exploded into violence. Nate pulled out a tiny bag of something. I later found out it was crack and tossed it directly at Blake's face. Blake smashed back, slamming Nate into lockers, but Nate was crazed. He pulled a switchblade from his pocket and slashed Blake's arm. Blood everywhere. The school freaked out. They immediately called the cops and expelled Nate. But here's where private school privilege reared its ugly head. Blake got a slap on the wrist after his parents cajoled the school board. Nate got labeled a criminal, drug dealer, and worse. The school painted him as the bad apple, even though the intimidation was non-stop, and the administration looked the other way for Blake and his crew. But the kicker? That same week, my parents pulled me out of that school. They finally admitted the layers of hypocrisy and how the system was rigged. I moved to public school halfway through senior year, expecting a step down, but honestly, I found something raw and real that the private school lacked honesty. Within a month, I uncovered that Blake wasn't just some bratty rich kid. He was secretly running narcotics in the school, with a few teachers turning a blind eye because of bribes and connections. I gathered proof. A few months later, there was a raid. Blake and several staff members were arrested. The private school was exposed for its corruption and favoritism. Nate? He got cleared after an appeal, started a program to help kids from rough neighborhoods avoid the drug scene. So yeah, I realized private school isn't this untouchable utopia. It's just a cage with nicer walls, full of rotten people hiding behind privilege, and sometimes it takes someone like Matea, lost kid on the edge, to reveal that mess. I left that world behind, thanks in part to him, and honestly, I'm better for it.